All right. Hey everyone. I'm gonna just do a thing where I just listen to Alley Cat's feedback on Project Stray. Uh, just for an update, I'm currently in the process right now of hooking up the. I have made progress on this. So now that when you actually walk up to the crafting station, the crafting menu actually pops up, and if you have items in your inventory, so this is the progress. So different things are relevant, like regular body armors and can be enhanced and upgraded quality and all that jazz. And there's just a basic functionality for that. So that's just an update on that. Anyway, let's get to this. Now, it might be really low. Yeah, I wish I can. If you do more videos in the future, Alleycat, can you raise the volume on your voice? It's very difficult to hear you. Don't apologize for your accent, man. It's legit. I can totally understand what you're saying. Hmm. I think you say you start in the same place all the time. Is that the levels will not be randomly generated? Or at least that's not the plan anyway. I'm doing hand done level design, which I think actually makes it pretty different because most games, indie games of this, um, cut from this cloth are usually random generated. But I'm doing the this is literally like a pack of maps from for a Doom episode kind of a thing. So he says the movement is feels pretty good. I half agree. I wish that the movement had more of a it's just a problem with movement in the Unreal Engine. Now you mentioned the jumping mechanic. There's got to be a way I could turn up the volume. The jumping is super floaty. So on that note, that's actually something. Two things that I need to fix. That's absolutely true. I'm gonna make sure that the next version comes out. I'm gonna have something to address the floatiness of jumping. Is like way too much, and I think it's actually a fairly easy fix. You just increase the gravity on the character movement or something along those lines. But I'll try to take a look at that. Yeah, it's about 200 units. Well, it's a little more complicated than that because it's basically I'm just applying an impulse to the player. So I'm like, which is the jump height is 800 impulse, a force of 800 or something along those lines, and it gets you to about 200 units. Yeah, being eaten alive and you die. Yeah, the floatiness definitely is a problem. I haven't even realized it. It's really good that you did feedback for this because it's now brought to my attention again. Yeah, it's like even more time than Mario is in the air. Yeah, I got to do something about that. Hmm. Hmm. On that note, I'm gonna start taking notes here. No, dude, you're totally fine. Like, you're totally right. I completely agree. Um, yeah, it's like boom. Totally agree. Hmm. Which is perfect. On that same note, it is a video about criticism. I want if you're to do criticism, I want you to pretend that you spent a couple bucks on the game. Pretend that. That will increase the criticism considerably, but that's the kind of harshness that I have to be prepared for, if you know what I mean. So, yes, very good, very good. Keep going. Yeah, like, well, this actually touches on a couple of things. I'm gonna let you go through with your point on ammo a little bit longer, and then I'll do a follow up. I hope people who are watching this can hear Alley Cat's voice. Yeah, and the assumption is that people will play the game the way I want them to play, which is never really usually a good assumption because people play games how they want. Yes, continue. Yeah, maybe I can change this. If you press R, when you're looking at a bubble and you press R, you just auto loot it. You don't even have to do anything else. But yeah, I totally. Maybe it should say it. So on the point of the ammo, that's I'm gonna have to think about ammo pickup improvements because most of the time ammo is viewed as like a definite plus, right? Like why would I never want to pick up ammo? It's the same thing with getting credits. But credits, on the other hand, are have no weight. So so the not I'm not making an excuse. I'm not being defensive. The only reason why I went, I'm just explaining what was going on in my head when I decided to go this route. Is that ammo has weight, and if you carry too much ammo, it will actually weigh your character down. You won't be able to you won't run into this until like later stages, like after you've been playing for a certain amount of time. But if you're carrying around 1,000 rockets, because you instantly loot them every time you see them, it actually reduces your movement speed because you're yeah it goes over your encumbrance value. So it's a lot like Fallout in that respect, and hardcore mode Fallout. But on that same note, I have to ask the question. I mean, is that fun? I don't know. See, my thinking on the logic of it. And I probably shouldn't take too long to explain this or go too far into the depth of it. But the logic on it is that I don't limit how much of any type of ammo you can carry. I just make it so that every ammo has a different weight value to it, and that ultimately you can only carry so much. So, like, if you want to carry 100 rockets around, you can do it, and that the rockets it would be instead of carrying 500 bullets. You know what I mean? So, like, there's an encumbrance or a storage capacity on your character, which when you look in the inventory, it's like right here on the screen. It'll be like storage, and then it'll say 2,000, and then how much you're currently carrying. So if I do like an auto pickup on ammo, then that might be annoying because eventually you'll start picking up ammo and it'll start slowing you down, and you'll end up always having to like drop ammo. So I was thinking maybe there's like a compromise solution, and see if, what you think of this. What if you automatically loot ammo just by being, just by walking near a loot bubble or something like that? But once you reach 2,000 encumbrance, like once you reach your max carry capacity, maybe it stops doing that. It goes back to the way it was before, where you have to manually pick things up. Like I don't know. I'll have to think on or something like that. I definitely know what you're talking about though. There's definitely something there. Yeah, that knapsack, the backpack is not infiniteness. Although maybe infinite backpack is more fun. See, that's the other side of it as well. Is this shit fun? It's like, are the choices that I'm making currently right now, like, are they good choices? And that is a perfectly legit thing to debate. So not madness. No, you're totally legit, dude. Like you can't as a player you can't be wrong. There's a sort of like the customer is always right kind of a thing. Well, it's true. Like if somebody feels some way, you can't debate with them about how they should feel. You can't tell people how they should feel. If it, the hard part on my side is to determine how to help you not feel that way. Like by actually doing actions that that have an effect where it doesn't feel like you're having to hit the E key constantly. Because hitting the E key too often, yeah, that's probably going to be pretty annoying. And if you're annoyed by it, then and 1,000 people play, like 100 or 200 people are going to be equally annoyed. Yeah, all the way down there. Hmm. I have a feeling that the R to loot all thing, if you'd known about it, it might have changed your stance on it. But yes. Hmm. 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 Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's this down here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's in the holster. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the holster right there. Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm having difficulty understanding. Are you saying that this isn't a holster? Because that's exactly what each one of these slots are, is a holster, right? And in fact, if you hold down R to reload, just like in Fallout 4, you can actually holster your pistol while you have the pistol out. So this is the weapon that's currently in your hand. I know this. It's silly for me to explain this because if the game doesn't explain it, then I failed. I fucking failed. But basically, what's happening is, uh, this is what's in your hand. This is your holstered. These are all of the different holstered weapons. They're going to be right here, and there's the number key corresponds to each of them. So you can have like seven. I think it's six different guns on this side here. So if you have your grenade launcher, you press six, and that holsters the pistol, and then and now you have the grenade launcher in hand, and that's what you'll see the picture of the grenade launcher right here. That's currently how it works. So each one of these are like unique holsters. It's kind of it's unrealistic because it's a lot like Doom and Quake, but yes, yeah. Like when you click on it here, it puts it back into your backpack, and it also discharges all the ammo as well. So like any ammo that it had just automatically gets discharged, and then you get all of the ammo back when you do that in a holster. Hmm. What's weird about this is that I swear what you're asking or what you're saying is exactly how it's set up, but it's not being portrayed very well, I guess. So that it maybe that's causing confusion. Because like you can carry seven weapons at the same time, and they're all in their each in their individual holster, but you use the number keys to switch between which holster you have active, which is why this is a lot like Quake and Doom because you switch between seven different weapons. Well, you switch between six different weapons, and your melee weapon is always an offhand. Hmm. Yeah, add like a bob. Add a little bit more bob to the view. Yeah, I can make time slow down even. Turn time dilation. Hmm. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I think post processing. I think post processing actually works that way, where you can just blur out the background. I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's definitely something to do. Like, the only reason why I haven't really considered the slowdown thing is I'm still kind of hanging on to the idea, possibly down the road, that this might be multiplayer. But fuck me, I don't think it's gonna happen now because it's just the flow of the game would require a multiplayer that's more along the lines of Dark Souls in order for it to flow correctly, which is a whole nother beast. Anyway, carry on. Hmm. Is the E key in the way? So you're saying like the faster movement speed and such, uh, it doesn't really complement doing kind of like a Fallout 4 style inventory, having like really fast movement and fast action. Hmm. I might actually make it faster. I'm thinking 1,000 UPS is probably going to be more along the lines. Wait. I need to hear what you just said. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking of. I haven't figured it out like how I would do it, but like if enemies that don't have melee attacks, I mean don't have ranged attacks, like can't reach you, that they would actually figure out ways to jump up to you. But I don't know. It's probably not that crazy. I mean, pinky demons become pretty fucking useless too when if you're above them. If you get on top of a box or something, it's not exactly like it's not the craziest idea that if you position yourself, you can have an advantage against dumb enemies that don't know how to move. My problem is that the damn enemies just stand there and like they need to have some kind of a movement routine that's much more simplistic. It's because nav mesh is too effective. Anyway, I'll go on that rant another time. Again. Hmm? No, what you're saying is perfectly good. This is the kind of stuff I need to be hearing. I seriously don't even I don't feel like you're being a dick at all. Not even a little bit. Remember, you paid $2. Okay, I need that kind of like, dude. I spent $2 and this game's a piece of shit. It's only got like one level. I mean, it could go. It kind of goes in that direction. Like, there should be sort of like I'm fucking fiddling around with an inventory. It's uncomfortable. I can't just like auto loot ammo and stuff like that. That kind of stuff needs to be brought up. That stuff is important because if you're bringing that up, I guarantee you, somebody else who plays this is probably going to feel the same way, and maybe you'll end up debating with somebody else. Be like, well, I thought the ammo was, somebody else might be like, I don't mind the inventory system, and there you go. Like I'll have to like figure out like which is that's difficult. Weapon based. Hmm. Uh, the newer version. If you play the newer version, I did exactly that. Well, I make the first area a melee weapon, and then I give you a pistol, and then you actually have to do like a battle, and basically you get pistol, and if you're clever and you look for a secret spoiler, there's a loot drop for like a potential of getting like a better pistol, like. Yeah, I completely agree with you that the loot all things. Well, it's not castle walls and stone. It's actually like a really old school like fucked up fortress. But yes, yes. Like imagine if Quake One kind of stepped into this, and you got those fucked up like cool metal walls, but it could totally be like a fucked up like castle structure. But I'm this level is the dark base, which is almost like a slipgate complex of some sort. But yes, continue. You just picked up his SMG. You didn't use it. You're not using your SMG. Blaster. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Swinging arm. Oh, fuck, a grappling hook. Ah, God damn it. I hate it when people think of a grappling hook, like when I'm designing something and like, oh, by the way, we're putting a grappling hook in the game. But I might actually just do that to myself. Man, it's like the levels are designed. Oh, but by the way, we're putting a grappling hook in. Oh man, everything, all the flow is fucked now. But actually, it'd be really cool. Like you could just shoot a grapple like right up here, and just like have it pull you up. Oh man, old school like grappling hooks. Fucking hell. Damn it. Yeah, yeah. Well, going very much in the Firelink Shrine of Dark Souls 3. If you play the current version right now, the there's a hub area, and that's the first area where you get a chance to hook up to a home point, and the home point allows you to teleport to any of the other home points that you've unlocked up to that uh, uh, up to that point in the game. I'm saying the word point too much, but yeah, like so if you have the home point in the beginning of this area, you can just warp to it, or the one that's like further in. Um, and it'll I'm still that's gonna be like literally the next thing I work on once I get the initial crafting system in place. But yeah, like my idea is that you go back to that hub area and that's where you do all your crafting and stuff like that. And maybe you're right. Maybe like you can't access your inventory when you're running around shooting shit. Like maybe that's just something that I should do. And maybe ammo shouldn't weigh anything. Maybe it would just be a better game if ammo didn't weigh anything and the fucking inventory was something that you can do in your hub area. Like you walk up to a thing and now you can change your gear and shit. Maybe. Hmm. What does anybody else think about that? Is anyone else who's watching this? And I apologize too. My voice is probably a million times louder than an alley cat's, but thanks. No, yeah, I'm not ignoring any of it. Yeah, some really good stuff, man. I want to hear further feedback. You mean streaming system? Hmm. Wait, I can collect analytics off of a project that easily? Wait, I'll have to look into that a little bit more because if I can actually see what people are doing in the game, that would have a huge influence on how I actually design it. Fucking hell. I gotta hook that up. I'm wondering if that means like I'm not I'm not like I'm not giving you as a player enough time to get used to things. Because what you're saying is implying a pacing issue more than it is actually like and when I say pacing, I mean like y- y- currently how the demo works if you play it to the first battle is basically you're just like you got like a fucking minigun and a grenade launch. By the time you're done with this map, you have all 7 slots filled out. Um, and in terms of pacing, like I wasn't really against that idea, but I mean you do kind of have to work towards it. But if you play through enough, you'll accumulate an arsenal, a considerable arsenal, very very quickly. But yeah, like maybe the pacing needs to be a little bit more evened out, and like each section needs to be more about earning the next tier or something like that. I don't know. That's a tough call. It's an outro. Huh. All right. Well, I'm definitely not planning on stopping. It would be pretty cool to be able to actually like turn in some kind of an income from this. But I feel like it has to go. It has to at least have a full, amount of gameplay before I would even ask for money on it. Although I've seen people do much less and still sell stuff. I don't even want to be in that. I don't even want to think about it that way though. The only reason why I'm working on this, honestly, is because I've been wanting to play this for a long time. So anyway, awesome feedback. Thank you very much. Um, I will definitely definitely put a lot of thought into your points. What can I? Well, while I'm thinking about that, there's a couple of things that are fairly easy. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video right now because it's 41 minutes. Holy shit. Uh, but there you go. Thanks for the feedback, and uh, it's kind of hard to hear your voice, so I hope this comes out okay.